There are so many unique aspects to our capital city, including a vibrant food and drink scene comprised of passionate individuals who are living out their dreams as business owners and leaders. You're invited to join us as we learn a little bit more about these restaurateurs, their businesses, and why such places are so important to our community. This is Eat Big in Little Rock.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Eat Big in Little Rock. My name is Kendra Pruitt, and I have the pleasure and honor of serving as Mayor Scott's Chief of Staff. And I'm excited to be in SOMA right here at the renowned Community Bakery. We're sitting here with John. John, welcome to Eat Big.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be here and taking over a corner in the restaurant.
It's no problem. We're honored to have you.
Thank you so much. Well, I don't think Community Bakery is new to anyone, right? Tell us a little bit about the history and how you became involved with Community Bakery.
Sure. So Community Bakery's been around since 1947.
Wow.
So our brand is about to turn 75 years old. And so to have any kind of service industry business that's lasted through all these years is pretty remarkable. We're actually the fourth owners. My wife and I purchased the bakery from Joe Fox, who actually was the third owner, but he built it into what it's the modern day Community Bakery. It was actually started by Ralph Henson in Rose City. And it moved a couple times, and it actually used to be down by Midtown Billiards. So when Joe purchased it, he purchased this building, remodeled it, added a cafe, espresso, all that, and now, I mean, it's the Community Bakery that everybody sees now.
Absolutely. And when did you and your wife take ownership? And tell us a little bit about the ownership structure.
Yeah, absolutely. So my wife and I looked into Community Bakery about 4 years ago. We both came from the corporate world. My wife is a native Arkansan, grew up here in Little Rock, Central High, the whole deal.
Little Rock through and through.
Little Rock through and through. And, you know, we wanted to be a part of a business that literally served the community. We weren't 100% sure it was going to be food, but that is one cool way to bring people together.
Absolutely.
So we had talked to Mr. Fox about mentoring us and looking at some potential local brands. We knew we didn't want to do a franchise.
Right.
So when we spoke with Mr. Fox, after several conversations, he finally just said, well, what about the bakery? So we were shocked. We did not know it was for sale. And it really wasn't. I believe for Joe, it got to a point where he had taken it about as far as he could take it, which is that way for all of us in life. We all kind of hit a plateau.
Absolutely.
And he felt that my wife and I had the energy, had the skill sets to take it to the next level. So interestingly enough, though I'm the CEO, I'm not the majority owner of the company. My wife, who is our CFO, is the majority owner. So we are a woman-owned and woman-run business. I'm like the only male in leadership working here. That's probably by design. But I'm a girl dad. I have 2 young daughters, and I think it's important they see women in leadership roles. And their mom is a fantastic role model for what a leader should be.
I love that. I'm so glad you shared that. And as a person who comes here often, I grab a breakfast sandwich once a week, smoothie. The smoothies are great.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what's on the menu, because people think bakery, they might just be familiar with your pastries or your donuts or your cookies, which are all fabulous.
Thank you.
But you can grab lunch here. You can get a variety of different things. Tell us a little bit about what the offerings are.
Sure. So when Joe moved the old Community Bakery location to this building, he added a cafe line.
Okay.
He felt it was very important to have a diversity in offerings, especially for the diverse community. So being able to do fresh sandwiches, and we do breakfast all day long.
Yep.
Not a lot of places do that, but we do it. We obviously offer all kinds of different espresso and coffee options, but having fresh soups and things of this nature, it's important. And you know, if we were just purely a bakery, we'd probably shut down every day at like 2 or 3 o'clock.
Right.
And people are always shocked when they say, oh my gosh, you're open until 8? Well, we have a cafe, and people do come in here and they work after school. We get a lot of moms, a lot of families, a lot of students. We have a lot of professionals that come here and meet with people after work.
Absolutely.
So it's important we have these options for them. But we have great fresh sandwiches. All our soups are homemade, house-made. All our breads are made from scratch from our artisan bread bakers. I mean, we have a pretty wide array of offerings. It's not just cookies and donuts. I mean, we have a lot of different things that we can offer.
It's all very good too.
Thank you.
We're in SOMA, what's known as SOMA today, but Community Bakery predates what we know to be SOMA, what we know to be the newly renovated and renowned Petaway and things of that sort. And Eat Big is about neighborhood.
Right.
Can you kind of talk a little bit about the importance of neighborhood and community as part of the brand of Community Bakery?
Absolutely. So, number one, it's not just our name. We have a mindset and a mission to serve all people. No matter who comes through that door, where they're from, where they live, they may not even have a home. They deserve dignity, they deserve love, they deserve the same experience that everybody else gets here. So that's an important part of what we do. The other part is because we're in a neighborhood, south of Maine, SOMA, we have a responsibility to all the folks that live here, and which, as you know, it's a very diverse community, which is something we're really proud of. So being able to navigate people's different needs, even different flavor profiles. You know, you and I may drink coffee, but I guarantee the type of coffee you like is very different than the type of coffee I like. And so being able to service all those people is an important part of what we do. And we believe by creating an environment where all are genuinely welcome, that alone creates community, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, community is it's a place where you have not even necessarily like-minded people, but people with common dreams, common initiatives. And even though we all have different perspectives, we all want the same kind of things. I want to be safe.
Right.
I want my children to have a nice, safe neighborhood and prosperous neighborhood. I want to go to cool restaurants and be able to experience great things. I think we all want that, and everyone deserves that. So that's a big part of our mission, is serving everyone in this community.
I love that. That's what we try to embody as city government,
Absolutely.
right? We have our residents across the city
Right.
from various backgrounds, and wanting them all to experience a quality of life that's fair and efficient for them all. And so maybe you can give me some tips. How do you do that? How do you make that happen?
I'm not 100% sure that I can give you all the secrets, partly because I don't know them all. I just know if you have the right intention, eventually it comes to fruition. So, you know, one of the things I tell our CB family and even guests, don't worry about what comes out of my lips, watch my feet. Don't worry about what I say, watch what I do. And I think when you model your mission and don't just have a big old slogan that you throw on a wall that everybody goes, yes, I'm down with that, but they actually physically see you doing it over and over and over again, that's when you know it's authentic. And quite honestly, that's when it actually makes a difference. We're honored.
Talk a little bit about you and community. You don't live too far from here, right?
No, I walk to work often.
Wow.
Not when it's like 98 degrees out. I have none of this, so I can't protect myself. But I live about 11 minutes walking from here. So it takes me about 3-4 minutes to drive. And I prefer to walk my neighborhood.
Yes.
Being from the East Coast, like trains, buses, and walking is how you got around.
Yes.
So I love to walk. And I feel more connected to my community, and as I call it, my hood, because I'm walking down the streets and seeing people. But yeah, I live in this community. So there's another level of commitment that, you know, it's one thing to have a business that serves the community. It's another to live in the community. Because trust me, if we mess something up, I hear about it. You know, I hear from my neighbors. And I love that, because I love that level of transparency that they can get to me. Because that helps us be better. But I love that. It's so important. And things that are happening in SOMA, the initiatives that are happening, even within the city, like we pay attention to the initiatives that local government are instituting or what they want to do, because at the end of the day, it impacts our community. And so we pay very close attention. Like, we want to make sure that our city government, our leaders are moving our city forward. There's no, I mean, if you saw SOMA 10 years ago, this is not a place you would come and bring your family to get a sandwich.
Absolutely not.
Especially after about 5-6 p.m.
Absolutely.
My wife has been coming to this bakery since she was 4 years old. So she has many years of coming here, and she even said, like, Main Street was not a street you hung out at. You would go in, get your stuff, and get out. And now, I mean, it's a vibrant neighborhood. People are walking around, and And I think some of that is the entrepreneurs that are in this area,
course.
but then also some of it's support from our city officials that understand the importance of a vibrant neighborhood.
Yep.
And we're proud of SOMA. Like we
you
tell
should be.
everybody, everything not only here, but we tell them about all the places in the city. Hey, if you're new here, you got to go see the Clinton Library, go
Yep.
see Heifer.
Yep.
You know, I'm telling you always go out west. You got to go to Pettigene Mountain. Like, so we're big believers in Little Rock.
Love it.
And we feel like as a community, we really represent the diversity of our city because
Yep.
all types live here, and that's something that we love.
I want to shift quickly to talk a little bit about sustainability practices. That's another thing that sets you all apart, and it seems as if you're very intentional about that. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you're doing, not only from a restaurant perspective, but you guys are doing some other things related to sustainability, as I understand. So tell
We
us a
are.
little
So
bit
we're
about that.
probably, and I could be wrong, we're the only restaurant, to my knowledge, in the entire city that's powered by solar. So we have
Really?
solar panels all over the top of our facility. Now, it doesn't give us full power, but
Wow.
if we would convince the other landlords to let us use their roofs, we would install more solar. And this was an initiative that Joe Fox had, the previous owner.
Wow.
It was a big deal to him, that level of sustainability. And then because he knows that that's near and dear to my wife and I's heart, we've just been able to expand that. And we're actually looking at some other ways to increase that solar energy. And I'm not at liberty to go into all that right
Absolutely.
now, but it's coming and we're excited about it. But you know, we share best practices with other businesses, even if they're not restaurants, on how to source certain kinds of napkins and straws and
Yes.
lids. And when I first got here 4 years ago, we did have styrofoam and things like that, and we understand how that impacts our community. How basically it never goes away, and I mean, this is the natural state, so
Right.
it almost makes sense to do everything towards a more natural process. So we have shifted to a lot of compostable, reusable products, even being intentional with kind of some of the ingredients that we use.
Yeah.
We don't really use many preservatives and things.
That's
That's
amazing.
why our stuff only lasts a couple days on the shelf, and so we have to constantly turn them. But having a green business is not just about saying, hey, I have a green business. It's
Right.
really understanding the impact it has on our current generation. But I'm a girl dad. I got
Yes.
babies that are going to be here a lot longer than me. I want them to inherit a much better place than I was handed.
I love
which
that.
is kind of the role, I think, of all parents and all leaders, right? Making
Absolutely.
things better
Better.
for that next generation or those that you're responsible for. So I believe with the city's help, we can transition not just our brand completely, but the entire restaurant industry. And how cool would it be to be the city
Yes.
that all restaurants
Yes.
are green? Like we compost, we have practices where we can dispose of grease and all, ethically. And I just think that would be a really cool thing.
Hold us accountable to that.
Well, we plan on it.
So we at the city, Mayor Scott is very intentional about sustainability practices and really wanting to move us in that direction. We have City Director Cappy Peck, who I'm sure you know is a
Amazing.
business
Amazing.
owner who kind of has adopted this personally and professionally with her restaurant, but is really challenging us at the city to move in that
Yeah.
direction as well. So I'm excited to hear that. And we're going to talk a little bit about our Green Restaurant Initiative in a bit. You don't mind, tell the folks where they can find you guys. You have 2 locations.
Yeah,
I
so
know I've
we're
been to
at
both.
we're at 1200 Main Street here in beautiful SOMA, downtown Little Rock, and then we're out west at 270 Shackelford. That's a smaller location. We're actually remodeling it now and doing some upgrades. That's our prototype, and then we're going to do that here. This evolution is a slow process, but you can also order online. All of our products are orderable, and we want to take care of folks. So if you need something and you don't see it on our menu, just call us. If we can do it, we're going to do it for you.
Are you on social media?
We
Tell us a
are
little
Community
about your
Bakery
handles.
LR on both Instagram and Facebook. I'm too old to be jacking around with TikTok right now, even though I have a feeling I'm going to have to
You're gonna
explore
get
it. But we feel like we can get out our messaging through those 2 platforms.
Okay.
We want to make sure we can consistently do it. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Joe,
You're welcome.
for sitting with us. Thank you all for watching Eat Big Little Rock right here at Community Bakery. Be sure to eat big here at Community Bakery. Now we're joined by Lenny Massinelli, who leads our sustainability office at the City of Little Rock. Lenny, thank you for being here with us today.
Kendra, thank you for having me, and how inspiring to be here in Community Bakery, hearing John talk about all his processes and sustainability.
Absolutely.
The Green Restaurant Certification Program is a fairly new initiative the city is putting out there for restaurants to jump in and be leaders in this town of sustainability. We call it Swing into Action.
It's on your shirt.
Yeah, so we have our shirts, and the reason is because the Sustainability Office is partnering with the Little Rock Zoo to make this program happen. It's a conservation initiative of theirs. We joined in, and we've been talking with restaurants and the Convention and Visitors Bureau for all the different aspects of how to make this program successful.
And so this is a broad movement in the food services industry to move them to more sustainable practices, right?
It's true. It's true. What we really ultimately want to do is for restaurants to embrace sustainability. So we make it super easy for them to join this program to get certified at Tier 1.
Okay.
And some of those things that they look into is, for instance, our Ask First policy. It's a cornerstone of this program. When you eliminate certain materials that you have just for granted put down on the table, like the straws or the glass of water that may or may not be consumed, then you're wasting in a way that resources that is going to affect the bottom line as well as sustainability.
With this certification, businesses can opt in, right?
It's a free program.
Free program.
It's optional.
And there are levels. So you talked a little bit about Tier 1, and how many tiers are there?
There are only 3.
Okay.
And the first tier is very cost-friendly, if you will. A lot of it, like I said, is eliminating certain things. Materials that might be able to help fund a very inexpensive recycling pickup program. So if you take straws out, if you take the condiment packages out, if you take out the plastic bags, or the you're not constantly washing glasses of water that never were consumed, then it's offsetting some costs. That's sort of the goal, is to make it super easy for restaurants, food trucks as well, to jump in and get started to embrace these new green initiatives.
Talk to us a little bit about the other tiers as they move from Tier 1 to Tier 2 to finally Tier 3. What are the distinctions between those tiers?
Right. So as Tier 1 is a lot of planning for phasing out styrofoam, planning for adding vegan and vegetarian options,
I see.
That sort of thing. Tier 2 takes it to the next level in that you are now implementing the plans. So you're putting that on the menu. You're taking those unnecessary materials that are just wasteful out of circulation. Also, a huge thing is, as John was mentioning at Community Bakery, is those packaging and the containers that are used for to-go. So one thing that I've actually retrained myself, along with the reusable bags that I take to the grocery store now, and I don't even think about it, I just do, is to take a container that I have to a restaurant. So if I don't finish my food, they're not out of their material, and I've got this thing that, it's
I love that.
One more step. It's thinking outside the container box, right? Is to encourage restaurants, to encourage customers to bring BYOC, to bring their own container.
Yeah. Tell us how can people sign up? Let them know how they can participate.
So littlerock.gov/green restaurants is how you get to that web page that gives you all of that information. It has the program, which is also in Spanish on our website. It has the appendix, which has the checklist. So if you want to skip ahead and see what will I be required to do to be certified at Tier 1. And also our logo, which is, the Swing into Action, is on the homepage of the city's website, littlerock.gov. So it's just easy to find at the bottom, click, and go right to our page. And then there's a sign up button, huge, on that page once you get there, that then walks you through a quick form and gives us your contact information so we can get you signed up or explain more about it.
Okay.
And get folks involved.
Well, thank you for your passion. Thank you for your leadership on this. We're excited to see where it goes, and I hope the impact that you hope to see happen will be realized through this effort. Thank you all for watching Eat Big. We're excited about this Green Restaurant initiative. Please check out the website, littlerock.gov/green restaurant. We want you to swing into action and be part of this. Thank you so much.